Hello, everyone. So I'm Anand. I have with me Mr. Paul, who is from BizzBooster, and this episode will be diving into his journey from zero to where he is today. Welcome, Mr. Paul, to the episode.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to be
Yes,
here.
thank you, thank you. We are glad that you are here. We have been with multiple entrepreneurs, and being to a success is not a straight line. Every journey has twists and turns and unexpected challenges which comes along with the business. So, and you have been navigating them themselves yourselves and also for the people who are associated with you. So we will be deep diving into the journey that you have been and how have you been tackling from where you started as an engineer to a business coach today and helping many people around your journey to gain success.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
So let's start from the beginning. Let's start from way beginning wherein you started from Pink Elephant, right? It was way back, and where's this journey
Yes.
today?
Yeah, so that was back in the 90s. It was one of my first serious jobs. I started as a system engineer in IT. I
Right.
was implementing computer systems, computer infrastructures. I really loved that job. And after 5 years,
Hmm.
the company asked me to join the management team of a new business unit. Um,
Okay.
I was young, so I was
Right.
honored to ask in that position.
To the
Didn't
management team. Right. Right.
yeah, didn't thought yeah, I had not much thoughts about it. So I started. It was a small unit. We were with around 70 people, with a leadership team of five. And we
Okay.
were in the IT outsourcing business. It's meaning that companies say, "Oh, can you take over our IT department?" And with every new
Okay.
customers, we not only
Right.
get new service and system, but also the people came to our companies. So that
People.
in the
True.
Netherlands, they have to be transferred to with the activities. So we grow, and we did a couple of acquisitions, and we merged with other companies, and actually within, let's say, 5 years, we grew from 70 people to over 1,000 with
Hmm.
1,200 people. So that was
Okay.
really a hard journey.
Tremendous
Um,
growth. Right.
Many things went wrong, and then and there I started to get some ideas about, how can we do that better? And I got a chance when
Hmm.
I was asked for another IT service provider in the Netherlands to start
Okay.
a greenfield outsourcing unit, and
Okay.
there I could implement myself what I think was good.
Right.
And a lot of
Right.
things I thought of didn't work, but a lot of them
Uh-huh.
they did. And also this company, we grew also within 5 years to over 300 people, something like that.
Hmm.
Um, and then so I did knew that the ideas I had and the practice I had, that it worked.
Okay.
Of course, what I did not everything invent myself. I talked with a lot of people. I read a
True.
lot of people, and I was always looking to see to transfer my knowledge to
True.
the people reporting to me, because if they are doing my job, I can do the fun.
Right.
I
Right.
can do the fun stuff. So so
Correct.
so making the knowledge transferable and teachable was very important to me. And to
Mhm.
be honest, there was a time I decided that that is really what I do
True.
like. And so I
Right, right.
transferred into a trainer, business coach.
Okay.
Still doing now and then some interim roles just to get the feeling, to know for
True.
surely what you, it must not be a theoretical story. Yeah, it must
Uh-huh.
actually done. So that's how the
Right.
how the journey did go. Yeah.
Wow, wow. Really interesting. Right from a small team to managing certain thousand people on the team and
Yeah.
getting that feeling that you can do it, you can do much more. I think that's what had driven you up to a business coach from a engineer back at Pink Elephant.
Yeah, the fun is So I studied at the Technical University in Delft,
Hmm.
and so it's one of the best rated universities in the Netherlands. So you
Uh-huh.
think that you have a good education, but
True.
it's worthless when you talk
When you
about
actually go
people
into
and
it.
organizations and management.
True, true.
The only thing I've got from there is having this scientific approach. So I'm not
Hmm.
like a scientist in what I'm doing, but I do want to make the difference between the things that really work are proven to work,
True,
whereas evidence that it's going to work, because there
true.
is a lot of fluff and
True.
so let's say bullshit in this world. And I'm
Correct.
always looking for proof if a practice, if it's working in the real world.
Right.
And yeah,
Very
that's
true,
my
very
sick.
true. Correct,
Yeah.
correct. So theoretically, things go different, and when you actually perform it with the company and the organization, it's a very different set altogether. Very true. Right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Right. So, being a business coach, I understand you must be mentoring a lot of people around you, right? Meeting people from different backgrounds, different companies, different roles. So, what do you think about the myths that entrepreneurs generally carry in their early stage of entrepreneurship? That these are like some business myths that people carry while they start their journey. What do you think about that particular part?
So what they do carry. So can you explain a bit
So
again?
there are some, business logics that we pre have in our perspective, which generally does not work, right? We have some business
Yeah.
logics with us as a new
Oh,
entrepreneur.
yeah. So like yeah. There are a lot of myths going on to be debunked.
Correct.
Yeah. The first of all is that many entrepreneurs think they do not need a coach. Yes, and of course they do. Yeah, of course.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's
That's true.
partly
That's
it's
true.
partly a joke. It's not the most important, but every winning team, either if it's in sport or in business, they do need a coach because you need this feedback,
True.
this honest feedback, because it's the only way to improve. Um, but there are so many more. So um, another thing is that people think that there are easy, simple, fast, one-trick solutions to
True.
grow their company. So
True.
they've and yeah, it's never easy. It's never easy. It's
Right.
it's hard work all the time.
Correct. Correct.
But
Correct.
people love it. And then they hear about some uh, business guru able to grow a big high tech
Multi-billionaire,
company,
but right,
and
right.
I think, okay, when I copy that, I will be successful too. But every company, every situation, every time it's always different. So it's
Different
not about
paths.
reading one book and
Correct.
copy that.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. And another myth is that um, bringing in cash. If you get funding for your company, it will solve everything. But
It
if
won't
you do
actually.
not have the right strategy, you're just
True.
wasting your money on initiatives that doesn't help you go any further. So it's just bringing in
Right.
a lot of waste. So
Yes.
you need capital, you need cash to grow, of course, but you always have to combine that with a strategy. Otherwise, you're
Correct.
just spilling the money. Yeah, absolutely.
True. Right, right. So, which is very rightly told, I think people, a mentor is a business coach is more of a mentor. They form the early stages of leadership team, right? Because as a new entrepreneur, you generally have a small team building in things. But when you have a business coach who is driving along with you, you have someone to go back and take the feedback. Is it the right path? So of course, right,
Yeah.
which is very true. And there are challenges which come up when you initially start off. So in your journey, what were the challenges which you faced?
So maybe there are, what I always did. I did observing people, looking what they were doing and what was
Right.
working and not was working.
True.
And of course, there were some people, that helped me a bit on my way. Yes, of course, I have people that are examples for me, but
Hmm.
also, especially at the first in my first management role when we grow from a small team with 70 people to over 1,000 people. Yeah, it
Correct.
really also felt alone.
Ha ha ha.
It was really crazy. It was really crazy time. We
Right.
have double-digit sickness rates. Um,
Correct.
uh, People just like me, just working from early in the morning till bedtime, 7 times a week. Other
True.
people just becoming apathic because they had no idea what to do within the
True.
company. Customers
Right.
complaining, and yeah, it was survival. It was
Ha
like
ha ha.
hanging with your nails on the edge of a
Correct.
cliff. That's
Right.
how it felt. And of course, some people helped me, but everybody was just running, 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 running with yeah,
Running. Right.
yeah.
True. True. It was
We,
a
we,
very rapid growth. Correct.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So new customers coming in and new people coming in, and um, through all the acquisitions and mergers, all different kind of cultures and way of workings. We had people working before for the Dutch government. There
Right.
were the state officers,
True.
and then we have this young ambitious entrepreneurs running through them. Yeah,
Ha ha.
it was really
True.
crazy chaos. Um,
Correct.
yeah, yeah, but there are still some people I did learn a lot about. I still in contact with them, and
Right.
yeah, but
You have been with them.
yeah, and one of my missions is that for me it was a hard time. It was hard learning. It was the hard way, and a lot of
Correct.
my peer leaders, yeah, they fell off the cliff. They were at
True.
home with burnouts or whatever. And one of my mission is that, yeah, is to help others to make this journey a bit more smoothly than
Right.
I had
True.
to than I had to
Correct. Correct.
experience.
Correct.
Yeah.
True, and that's where the value comes in actually, because in today's like dynamic environment wherein Silicon Valley is everywhere, you have entrepreneurs starting small and then quitting in say 1 year's time or 2 years time. What do you think are some general hurdles which an entrepreneur looking at this show should be aware of before they start off? So it's not an easy walk. So what are those three hurdles or two hurdles which you can just tell it to an entrepreneur before they start
Yeah,
off?
yeah, yeah. Sometimes I say every business only has two hurdles to take: how to find customers and how to serve them. There is not,
Right,
yeah, there's
right.
nothing more.
It's around
Um,
it.
but,
True,
but actually, most of the time, the entrepreneur itself, he is the biggest hurdle to take,
wow,
because
right,
when you have a startup and you have a great idea, um, um, and then you often see it's technical oriented people, of people really loving this idea and gathering around people who also
mm,
love this idea. So everybody's
correct.
running the same way, and people love this stage of growth. But then the company
Correct,
grows, and then the
true,
founder or the entrepreneur, um, he is still on every decision in the company. He's deciding on every customer. He's deciding on every new hire. And
true,
that's fine when you're small. But when you're growing, you
true,
become the hurdle yourself. So you have to learn to delegate and um, make empower other people, and
correct.
and keep loose, and that can be difficult, and sometimes it's not fun, because it was fun when you were developing on
When
new
you
products
started,
and thinking about,
true,
and
true,
and and then you become a manager, and and
correct,
so there
correct,
are
correct,
many times in this growth where the entrepreneur really must think, am I willing to change? Do I want to be in this role, or am I
true,
go step aside and are going back to product development and move on as a shareholder, and do what I like to do?
correct,
Because so many
very
people
true,
yeah, they do not like anymore what they were doing in the beginning, because they become a slave of their own company. Yeah. So
True, true, true. I think that's a great advice because that exactly makes someone quit because he's now having 90% of time given into some work which he just was doing because there was no one else. Now moving into product development or moving into something which creates value to the business uh, is the right path, which I
yeah,
understand from you. True, true,
yeah, yeah,
true.
yeah,
Nice.
and I think you have to kind of people why they are going to start their own business. You know, we have those people who are thinking about the big money they can get, having this viral idea going globally. Um,
Correct.
but the most people I speak, they love to be autonomous. They love the freedom. They think they are free and can decide whatever they do. They do not want to work for a big corporate. Uh,
Correct.
but actually, they often, yeah, become a slave of their own company.
Save your own
Actually,
company. Right, right.
because there are still customers with expectations and people you hire and
True.
they also demand
Correct, correct,
all kind of stuff.
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, so there are reports which have told that, co-founders and founders generally work more than 14 to 15 hours of day in average, which is way more than a general average of working on over a corporate. So that's right. That's where this hours come in from.
yeah, absolutely. And I always say you do not get a burnout from working hard.
Right,
You get a
right.
burnout from chaos and being not in control. Because if you
True.
love what you're doing and get, when working, not everything is it's nice, but
Mm,
when there is a lot of stuff that gives you energy, yeah, you
right.
can work all day. But when it works that you have to and doing all the time stuff that you do not like, yeah, then
True, true.
then
It's not
the,
driving us. It doesn't drive you from inside that, that you are doing something which is not falling in your purpose. So basically, if you started something which had a purpose, you had a vision, but as the years pass on, you get engaged into managerial work and that vision and purpose stays aside. So
yeah,
sticking to your purpose and vision is very difficult. And I think that's where this hurdle which you have just told is the founder himself or the entrepreneur himself, which is very
yeah,
true. Right,
yeah.
right, right. And I see that you have been working on the tech front. So if you can tell us about BizzBooster also, which is one of the tech products which you have been working upon, how is it going? Like, what does your chain looks?
Yeah. BizzBooster is actually just my company from which I do the business coaching.
Okay,
Um,
okay,
uh, so and what I'm working now from BizzBooster on is, of course, I want to scale my company, but
hmm,
I don't want to become a corporate because I do not. Yeah, I'm good at managing, but I do not
right.
like it. so
Correct,
I looking other ways for doing my coaching, and looking for flexible ways in how to do that. So for example, my marketing and sales team, they're not employed by me. I just outsource them. They were sitting in the UK, they are in Poland. So
working remotely. True, true,
yeah, so the stuff I do not like, I do it by others, so I can grow with
right.
with
Correct,
keeping a small
correct.
company. And what I'm currently working on is a proposition where we combine online training with coaching, because
Right.
in coaching there are two parts in there. You have to teach your practices, and you have to yeah, you transfer
Getting
your knowledge.
implemented.
Yeah,
Right.
and the real coaching, putting the mirrors on the face for, and
Right.
the first part, we're now working for doing that online. I
Mhm.
do a lot in the. I'm working in the rest of Europe, but the
Okay.
English in the most parts of Europe isn't that great. So if
Mm.
you're in the Netherlands, people, they do
They
speak
speak.
English. You can
True.
talk in
They do speak.
English.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
Right. Right.
but when you go to Germany or France or Italy, it becomes a bit difficult.
It's
And
difficult, right?
yeah, and then I was thinking, yeah, so if I can so much doing remote and I love to travel, yeah,
Yeah,
why not go for the English speaking countries? Why not try also to deliver my service in the United States or Australia or South Africa?
true.
So that's what we're working now on with the marketing and sales team.
Okay,
And then and then bringing the percentage that we can do online. Yeah, we are going to enlarge it, so it will be scalable also.
true,
And
true,
yeah,
right,
and then once in a while, hope to travel to the US as well for doing some coaching, also
wait,
face to face. Yeah.
right. So, like, as you told, you love traveling. So, when you work along with what you love, so say if you love traveling and you're working with it, I would say that makes it more interesting because you're traveling to multiple cities, you are traveling to multiple people, and then you're providing coaching there. So, which city, as in, is something where you would love to travel, or what is the cities you actually have traveled and would suggest that okay, these are the cities to travel in your personal
Yeah.
life?
So
Let's get into there. Let's get to know you more.
yeah. So um, there was a moment in my career that you have to think about what do you like, and then I decide a couple of things. For me, it's not important to have a boat or a big house in the south of Europe.
Hmm.
I don't want to worry about money, but for me, it's not the most important. So
Right.
it's more about that. I love when I was somewhere and I was thinking about, okay, I did make a difference there. I
Right.
really get motivated about that.
True. True.
Um, and yeah, as I said, I love to travel. In my first years as an engineer in IT, I worked a year in London, I worked in Luxembourg,
Wow.
I did a lot from Microsoft, so I traveled a lot to Seattle to
Uh-huh.
for being there.
Correct. Correct.
That's what I
For
love,
services.
and I
Right.
love to transfer knowledge. As I said, I love to train. I love to make people smarter.
Correct.
And yeah, and that's what really drives me. And as I said, in making a difference, um, in my first years of my career, when this company was growing that fast, there was so much misery among the people working there. So
Okay.
the entrepreneurs and the founders, you know, they are my customers. They are paying
Correct.
my bills. But if I can help their company to uh,
Correct.
to
Correct. To
grow
grow.
with
Right.
fun and a nice way, it means
Right.
that a couple of hundred of their
Are
employees
also getting.
having a better life, and
True. True.
their family too.
Are also. It's an impact that is being created from this end to many people, basically.
Yeah, yeah. So I have a goal in our which I want for what I want to be somewhere in
Correct.
the upcoming 10, 100 years. But for me, I set a goal that I go retire when I have helped 500 companies. And why 500
Right.
companies? Because if at those companies I can bring to a couple of hundreds company, a
True.
couple of hundred people, let's say 200, I did have helped 100,000 people having a
100,000
great
people.
life. Yeah, and
True.
that's a great number,
Right,
isn't
right.
it? That's a great
Correct,
number,
correct. It's a great number.
Yeah,
It keeps you motivated to go for another one each time. What specifically, any of the success story that which comes in your mind when we speak today, which you can just give out to our viewers here, who are, who wants to understand how this journey works. So any of the success story which comes to you in your mind when we speak today?
Yes. So there are a couple. Of course,
Of
I
course,
had
right.
failures too in my career, but so after this, working as a leader in this company, growing to over 1,000 people, I was asked to setting up the same kind of business for a very small local IT player in the south of the Netherlands, and they asked
Okay.
me to start an new outsourcing business unit. And
Okay.
I had all the freedom in to do it in the way I wanted to. Of course, there's always limitations on capital
Right.
and cash, and you
True.
know
It's
we
there,
had
right.
it. Um, um, and we did a couple of smart things there,
Mm-hmm.
and we started this new business unit, and we grow in 5 years from a small 30 people, and actually my business unit was zero when I started,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, so it was really greenfield, and within a couple of years we grew to 300 people. Um, the number of
Okay.
people is not saying anything, so it shouldn't be a goal to have as much people.
True, true.
But
But
yeah,
right.
um, but we did a smart thing there, which I always tell people, and now I would call it a strategy. So if you start a new business, what people find really difficult is to define what I call it's your sandbox. What's your sandbox? That's your playing ground. What are you
True.
going to deliver to whom? And so in this small company, want to become big ambitions of the owner, the founder had big ambitions and wants to become big and well known in all of the Netherlands and blah, 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 blah. And so he was aiming for every customer in the Netherlands. And
Mm.
it is really difficult to get a
Each and
small
everyone.
market share in a very big market. It's
True.
so much easier to find a niche in that market and become the leader in that market because
True.
you have to say no to a lot of customers,
Right.
but the customer that really are fit what you are doing,
True.
they will say yes.
They will
Yeah,
come to you.
and and sometimes, outsourcing business, it sounds very generic, but we define this market a bit slower. So we were
Okay.
aiming for customers, and we call them second generation outsourcing, uh, that
Uh-huh.
had their first experience with one of the larger global companies in outsourcing, but were too small to be served by them. So they did not
Okay.
get the attention by these big companies because if you are a global service provider, the
True.
contract value is too low. But for us, they
Right.
were great. So we
Great.
targeted for these companies. We knew exactly what contracts there are in the whole of the Netherlands, when they would end. So 1.5 years before the end of their contracts, yeah, we came in and we get all of them. We get all of them. And that's
Wow.
and
Right.
I think that's a great lesson. I always tell you, try to get try to become the market leader in your niche. And a
In your
niche
niche.
can also be some kind of pain you are relieving or some
Correct.
yeah,
Correct. Correct.
and we found ways that you can have a great service delivery without
Mm-hmm.
that the cost is going
Correct.
double or triple times.
Right.
It's a lot about perception. It's a lot
A
about
lot about the
perception.
perception. Correct.
Yeah, yeah, and you can work on that because when most companies design their internal processes, they are only
Uh-huh.
thinking how can it be more efficient, how can we make sure how it goes wrong. But if you
Correct.
design your processes with the customer mind in front of you, and
True.
and then you can surprise him, and you can perform above his expectations. And and if you are able in doing that, um, and your customers are really, really excited about what we are doing, and in the Netherlands
Right.
we call it the 9+ organization because in the Netherlands at
Okay.
school we grade between 0 and 10. So
Uh-huh.
a 9+
Right.
is like A
Nine
plus
plus.
plus or yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
True.
Your customers will become your advocates because they
Mm-hmm.
are willing to speak at your business events. They are going to talk to others how happy they are with you, and
Right.
yeah, and in this kind of industry, yeah, you do not need any sales or marketing anymore because your customers are your
Correct.
advocates. And that's of course not
Customers
possible
are
in
your
every
marketers.
industry. Yeah, but you need to go viral about your services. That's what you're
Services.
aiming for.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Great. I think that's where the mentorship comes from. So we spoke in like few minutes, but you have given out those success mantras already. Like have your niche. Do not try to market everything. Don't try to capture the 100% market. Have your niche. Create it and
Yeah.
put. Yeah.
I have another important one. Make sure you have the best people that you can
That
that
you can
you
have on
can
the.
yeah, that you can
Correct.
pay.
Correct. Correct.
Especially in your leadership team, uh, you
True.
are really the best people in there.
You need to be
Um,
careful. True.
yeah, because it makes life so much easier. And in the current market, it's difficult to find people.
True.
Um, so many. So what is every company doing? So they are going to LinkedIn and looking
And they are
who's
looking for people.
available and reaching
Correct.
out.
Correct.
But the people who
Correct.
are available at LinkedIn, those are not
Are
the
not.
best people. Those are not the best
True.
people.
There's a way to look at it. True.
Yeah, the best people they work for companies and they got pampered and paid and so you
True.
have to find
Be careful
other
on that
ways
part.
to attract them. And
Right.
um, in this company I told you about, so we were also thinking, okay, we have these larger multinationals also doing business in the Netherlands. They have
Hmm.
great selection procedures. So 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 we do not have to do that again because they are already selected at those
Okay.
organizations. And we knew that if they are working there for 2, 3 years, um, their career stops, their learning
Right.
curve flats down.
Let's upside and
So
down.
and they start to complain there, and they think, okay, I'm working here for this big company, but nobody is seeing me, and there are so many competition in there, and they really
Recognition
felt
is
like a
not there.
number. Yeah,
Hmm.
and we started, and yeah, that was the campaign we started. Uh, at our company, you're not a number. Uh,
Right.
and then people came to us not because we are saying you are earning the best money at our company. No, we have this personal touch for you. At our company, you're a name, not a number, and we put it in all our um, um, uh, internal
Descriptions.
processes.
Correct.
And so people felt really engaged with our company, and they never left. And they were not coming for the money; they're coming for the culture of the company.
Culture of the
And that saves
company.
us a lot of money because we do not have to pay them as much, and they are loyal, and
True.
they,
True.
yeah.
Correct.
Um, so, um, yeah, and you in your selection procedure, yeah, be
Is very
very strict,
important.
be very
Be
strict,
very.
be very strict. Do not hire anyone because a bad
Right.
hire, it costs you so much attention, energy. The
Right.
team where they in, yeah, only
It's not
hire the
only the
best.
money. It's not only the money, but it makes the whole process complex. It's not only the
Yeah.
money which gets as a cost, but the whole process gets complex. Very true. Very true. Nice.
Yeah, I
Great.
had a small company. I had a small company, and what we did, because there is a big shortage on highly skilled people in the Netherlands,
Haha.
so we hired and selected people from all over the world, from
Okay.
South Africa, Brazil, India, Pakistan, wherever people want to leave,
Regions. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
uh, and where they do speak English, of course. Otherwise, it's a bit difficult in the Netherlands.
Correct.
Um, and we had a very we had our conversion rate for every 250 people that were asking to join our company. We only hired one. So
Okay.
so
Okay.
so we put because if someone comes from South Africa with his family to the Netherlands, you cannot say within a month, "Oh, I'm sorry, it doesn't work. It didn't
True.
work out.
Right.
Please go back." It must be a success every time.
Every time. Right.
And this company in the first full business year. already made a gross margin of 200K, and 200K maybe doesn't look that much, but it
But
is. But it is
but it
because
is,
most
it is
companies are still putting money in their
money
first.
in.
Yeah,
Correct.
so we
Right,
already got,
right.
yeah, yeah. So,
Great, great. Great to hear about this. Right from, making your niche, then going into and setting up the culture in the company. That's where the business mentors, business coaches actually help the entrepreneurs to grow and grow consistently rather than, putting in all in and then shutting it down. So it was great having that insights from you. And of course, the way you have been working in BizzBooster and the kind of process and approach that you have. What is your thought on getting featured in top five business coaches around there in Humans of Globe? How did you feel about that?
yeah, yeah. I have to be honest. I was really honored. My parents grew me up to not put myself all the time in the foreground. So I'm a bit humble, but yeah, but I really was honored because all the work you do, all the ideas you have are recognized. Of course, you know that most of my customers are happy with what I'm doing, but now it's really
Right.
got tangible. So I was feeling honored. I have to admit, I did share it with my network. If somebody enters my office, the
They can see it
award is,
out there.
yeah,
Yeah,
they can
right,
see
right.
that,
That's your
they can
work
see.
out there. Like it's because of the way you have worked, you have achieved it, and we are glad to have you with us. We are also glad to have you with us. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So that was great. And I told you about thinking about expanding my business to the United States. It was
Right.
actually it was a result of being on the cover of your magazine because um, people from the US were reaching out to me. They never did
Right.
that before, and then I was thinking, yeah, yeah, why not? Because I've uh, um, for all
It's
my other foreign customers, most of my work is done remotely. So why do not
true.
reach out to them? So it gave me, yeah, yeah,
Opportunities come in. Right. Right. Right.
yeah, yeah, because
True.
yes. So
Because the story goes out and people when they come to know about the work that has been done by you and the kind of story that you have made, we are glad that we would have been able to get you networked out there, and we look forward to do more with you going forward. And I would say it was great having you today here, and there are people who would be uplifted and motivated to hear from you, and of course, the entrepreneurs who are very at an early stage would gain that success line along with the mantras that you have told you over the episode. So, thank you for being here, Mr. Paul, and thank you for spreading those word out there and helping multiple people with those 500 companies vision that you carry. Before saying goodbye to you today, I would like to just give you a brief, would like to understand a picture from you. Like if I ask you in few words, how do you paint yourself with this booster in your vision? What would be it?
so what makes me a bit different than other business coaches, because there are a lot of there in the world, is first I use proven practices. I associated with an organization called Scaling Up, and it brings me a bunch of tools that is implemented with over 80,000 companies on the globe, um,
Okay.
and they are working. Um, and it's kind of hobby of me if I hear some new management story that I'm going
True.
into the scientific research to see if it works or not. But
Right.
yeah, but that's yeah. I don't know if that's an effective approach, but I do love that
Approach.
because yeah. So that's one thing. Then if you're doing business with me, I sometimes say, skip the fluff. We're only aiming for results. You know,
True. True.
let's be honest to each other. Let's be open to feedback.
Right.
Do appreciate if there's sometimes also things that yeah, that's not good for your for your ego. Um, and yeah, and the last thing, as I said, I'm I'm here to help. I love my clients to be my advocates, also as a business coach. If we are going to work with each other and there is no fit, okay, no worries. We go a separate way. It can happen.
It can happen.
I will set the extra step to move
Make it
forward
work.
to you.
Right.
Um, and yeah, and the last thing, I want to make my work measurable. So what my promise is to customers, especially as
Right.
scale-ups, if you're ambitious and if you really want to grow,
Right.
together we are going
Right.
to grow your business 10 times. And I will tell
Right.
you how a bank, so I'm quite financial educated. I will tell you how a bank or a new investor will look at your company, what he is thinking, what your company is worth, and what we are going to work on to uh, to grow this company.
To grow this
And yeah,
company.
and unfortunately, it will not happen in 1 year, because if you
It's a
have to
process.
work on your
It takes
people
time.
or your culture or your execution, it will take a couple of years, and
True.
we're going to make this journey happy. So there is a
Together.
lot of other stuff we are going to work on, but in the end, the goal is to make your company grow 10 times in business value. That's what we are working on.
Having you here today, lot of insights, lot of takeaways, and we look forward back to join you someday soon. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul, for giving in your time. And I would say thanks for everyone who is watching this podcast. If you like the content that has been coming around, the takeaways, do subscribe us, and we will have more entrepreneurs coming in our journey, sharing their experience like Mr. Paul did with us today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thanks, Mr. Paul. Thanks for being here.
Okay.